like I always tell y'all, either find the people that we invite to this podcast via TikTok, via Instagram, and Urban Trivia and Ro is pretty much everywhere on TikTok right now.
Sir.
I was like, I think I seen a clip where they was like, the Drew Hill.
Oh yeah.
Do you do a step or do you just sing? I was like, nah. Said I choose C. That's a both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
I'm like, you know what, man? Let me get them on here, see how all this came apart, and like, see if we could probably play a little bit with them and everything like that. But I definitely want to know, like, how did all this even like come together? Like, far as as a trivia game, like, was that something that you was interested in when you was like younger and stuff like that, like board games and card games and trivia games and all that?
All right, so let's rewind time. You know, in a land before COVID.
Okay.
You know, that was a whole different world. You know, where you could go outside and be free and be married.
Yeah.
You know, we started this game, and basically we just got to, like, my homeboys are pretty much club promoters, right? Mm-hmm. So one's a club promoter, one's a DJ, one's a photographer, and I'm an MC, right? Oh, and so that's how this all really started, us just being tired of doing the same type of events, right? So we started doing speed dating. We did karaoke for a while, and we did vision board parties and things like that. And then and he was like, man, and our guy Marcus was like, man, let's do a trivia night. And so when they had the idea, they had the questions, they had everything. They just asked me to host it.
Yeah.
So that's how I came about. And so, you know, I was like, all right, bet. So, you know, I did. And then and we would do it, you know, pretty infrequently, like, you know, once every 6 months, you know, stuff like that. But then one day after a gig, we were standing in the alley talking. I was like, y'all, we should make this a card game. This is like 2017. And you know, they was like, it's probably expensive, and you know, how would you even go about doing that?
Yeah,
shit, I don't know. And you know, so we just left it at that. And you know, fleeting, right? Okay, now let's go into a time post COVID. Well, actually, during COVID, we started doing because we started out doing live shows. So then we got to doing it more frequently, you know, over the years. But then so we was doing live shows, and when the pandemic hit, obviously we couldn't do live shows no more, so we started doing them over Zoom.
Right.
And you know, those numbers just kept growing and growing and growing. And I was like, instead of doing this every Friday, but I mean, you know, nobody was doing shit else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We stuck in the house here. What else we doing?
Watch versus, watch D Nice on Instagram, or watch us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was about it. So, you know, so I was like, man, like, instead of us, you know, doing this every Friday, you know, let's get back to that, you know, that card game idea. Yeah. And I was just sitting at work. I didn't say nothing to them. I was sitting at work and I was looking outside the window. I was like, it is a beautiful day out here. I could be doing anything with my time than sitting fucking here.
Right.
And I was like, we got to make that card game. And so I just texted them. I said, hey, y'all, like, let's get back on this card game idea. And they said the same thing. Oh, man, it's probably expensive, this and that. I said, all right, how about this? Either we can do it, or I'm gonna do it. How y'all want to slice it? And they was like, all right, well, you know, give me some numbers, you know, and you know, let's make it all make sense. Yeah. So we sat down, you know, we already had a bank of questions because we've been doing it for, you know, 4 years at that point. So you know, and then we just started looking like, all right, well, first off, I have to shout out my man T Hall. He has a game called I shouted him out and forgot the name of the game. Got Bars, that's the name of it. So it's called Got Bars. And it's a hip-hop trivia game, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, but basically that gave me the vision that this can happen. Because he down the street like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so he inspired me to know that I can make this happen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we just hopped on Google, figured out, you know, some manufacturers, and, you know, really just started from there, man. And so we launched December, I think it was like December 1st or something like that, 2020. And yeah, man, it just took off from there. And you know, and so obviously, you know, it's selling to friends and family and everything like that. But we knew that, and I told them, because I'm a rapper, right? So I told them, like, hey man, it's gonna come a time where our social media is gonna be tapped out.
Right.
Our friends and family is gonna be tapped out.
Right. You
know, we gotta be able to sell this to strangers.
Yeah.
So you know, and they was like, well, what we gonna do? And I was like, bro, like, it's the same thing like selling the mixtape. You just gonna have to go hand in hand.
Gotta hit the streets.
Exactly. So, you know, so that's what we did. So we started getting vendor events, you know, and things like that, and becoming vendors at these different places, you know, just growing the brand. And I had just always said, I was like, man, if we can get this on Amazon, that shit gonna take off.
Yeah.
It was the hardest time. Like, it took probably about 4 months, like just jumping through all the hoops and, you know, and this and that.
Was that because of Amazon, or was it just like because of the manufacturer type shit?
Nah, we had the product. It's just, you know, they like, oh, well, it doesn't have a barcode. Oh, it don't have a UPC. And I don't know these things. So I'm trying to, you know, learn this shit, you know, on the fly. And so I'm going through getting that. I actually digitally imposed the barcode on Urban Trivia just so they would accept it.
Hey, let me Photoshop this right there. I'm just gonna get approved at this point, bro.
That's what I did, man. And so I had, you know, been back and forth with support and everything. And we was at a vendor event, and this dude was like, he's like, man, I seen this on Amazon earlier, man. He was like, so I gotta go ahead and get it. I was like, how you see it on Amazon? Like, I've been, you know, I've been fussing back and forth with them, you know, for the longest. So man, I searched the shit, couldn't find it. But when I got home, it did show it was listed. And so then I was like, oh snap, okay. So, but you couldn't find it nowhere. So this is how we give y'all this little tidbit, in y'all audience, if y'all ever think about selling anything or just kind of know how Amazon works. Everything on Amazon is not everything on Amazon. Yeah. So like, there's everything that you see is a featured product.
Yeah.
Everything that's there, you have to either search it by name, or you have to be on the computer to where you can see all products. So that's the way I seen it. And so then, you know, I figured out, okay, well, how do I become a featured product? Oh, so you got to pay them $30 a month. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, at first we shipping it ourselves. You know, we was getting probably about 30 or so orders a week, which was a lot, because, you know, that was way more than we was getting on our actual website. Because, like I said, we had ran through all of our friends and family at that point.
Right.
And, but then we did FBAs, which is fulfilled by Amazon. So us shipping them our inventory and letting them ship it out. Right. So now that's how you get the Prime and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just been such a blessing. It just took off from there.
No, that's dope as fuck. I always like to commend people that like get that shit from the ground up, especially like you pretty much told your friends, like, hey, y'all either gonna be a part of this or it's a wrap for y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all.
And I mean, you know, and I couldn't do it without them. So I mean, you know, that's how arrogant of me to say, you know.
Hey, arrogant is like kind of putting a fight on their ass, though.
I just believed in it that much.
Yeah, it's like putting the fight on their ass, though. Shit, that's all here. Like,
sometimes you got to be like, hey, you either get down or you lay down.
Hey man, either we going or I'm going.
Right.
But now, like, and you know, like I said, man, it's 4 of us. So, you know, like we still do the live events, obviously, you know, and then you know, just started creating awareness, you know, just getting more video content, man. And honestly, the biggest thing has been TikTok, bro. Like, TikTok is crazy. Like, you know, and I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm 34. So
we round up.
me, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So me sitting around, you know, and I know my daughter, she's 10. She's on TikTok all day, but I'm like, I don't know no grown people with a TikTok, you know what I'm saying? But then as soon as I sign up, I'm like, oh, well, shit.
It's hella adults.
People on it. But yeah,
this
man.
ain't about no YouTube shit.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, when we started making TikTok content, you know, it was just really me and the camera, you know, just asking question of the day.
Yeah.
But it didn't look the way I wanted it to look. So I was like, all right, we need to get a videographer because like I said, I was a rapper before this. I still rap every now and then, but like I was so heavy on your brand has to be right. Everything has to be high quality because people not gonna believe you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look like you got this shit figured out already, even if you don't.
Yeah,
so, you know, so then I found a videographer, you know what I'm saying? And he came along and just changed the whole game. You know, and so we started shooting it in this room. So if you scroll back on our TikTok, you'll see me with a yellow background, with a red background, with, you know, and just shooting in different t-shirts and stuff like that. And it started in this room. And then I was like, man, like we should just go. It's this area called Deep Ellum, and I guess if you could, I've never been to Chicago, but it's just like a strip of bars. You know what I'm saying? And,
busy ass nightlife.
You know, just walk. You know, so I just was like, man, we should go down there and just ask people questions. And when I did that, that's when shit just really took off. So you'll see the difference in the numbers when I was asking this shit in my room to nobody versus, you know what I'm saying, me asking people on the street.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best part of like this whole thing is because you just ask random whoever's and see where they go with it and shit like that. Like, and it doesn't have to be like certain urban. It just could be just the question, just all the questions that I've seen so far. Like, it's just, I don't want to say it's common sense shit, but it's like a lot of shit from the 90s and nostalgia. Like, motherfuckers probably know, but they probably don't fucking know. They gotta think about it and shit like that. So I think that's the dope part about that shit, especially you just like hitting the streets as far as like, all right, so sometimes shit gotta change. And this ain't working. So now it's time to try a whole new formula. See if this formula
works. Pivot, man. Just gotta, you know, just gotta pivot, man.